between the home team Redlegs and the visiting Zebras from Sandringham, and good afternoon to our co-commentator Barry Menther.
Good afternoon, Peter.
And to our statistician Ryan Alamand. Ryan, how are you today? In good form?
Peter? Yes.
All right, well the Dandenong players, you can see, are in the huddle, and Zebras are just broken up, and we'll try and pick up the Sandringham players for you. But the Dandenong team, and this broadcast is going right through, Barry, right from the Frank Store and stand all the way about 100 metres. It'll go right through to the social club this afternoon, where people have enjoyed a very nice luncheon. And we had some pretty special guests in to lunch today. Martin Stillman from the VFA is with us, as a couple of dear old supporters that enjoyed lunch with us today. So the stage is set for a good game, Barry.
Yes, it's a beautiful afternoon. Sun shining. I was listening a few moments ago, and apparently it's very dull down Geelong, so... Very dull down at Geelong this afternoon. But they told me people down Geelong for the Geelong Footscray game have been camping outside the ground since yesterday morning.
Yes, well, Dandenong looking a bit that way, isn't it? There's a good crowd in here, Barry. A lot of cars in, and people have gathered. This is always a traditional game, as Brett Dower comes off onto the interchange bench with Heath Mead. So Mead is coming back. Both these players coming back off injury, Dower and Mead. And they're an exciting pair, and see big Mark Soderstrom heading down towards centre half back with Jack Marshall. Now they're going to the forward line. Soderstrom's going to the forward line. Dandenong's obviously kicking towards the creek. Jack Marshall is heading down there with his Sandringham opponent in Daryl Argus, a good player Argus. And the umpires are set. John Russo in attendance today, the senior umpire from AFL ranks, and Ray Holt. Don't know Holt, but certainly know John Russo, and Big Milligan in the ruck. Michael Kennedy's on the ball. Andrew Lacko in the centre. Sean Mullane is actually roving, I would think. No, Gotcha's there, so Kennedy's going to do the ruck roving, and Mullane. Right, down she goes, and up they go right in the middle, and Tarpey's opened up for Sandringham. That's interesting. No, it's Shriller has opened up there as Sandringham get the first kick away, and it comes down towards their half-forward line, and a young cracker overruns this ball as Johnny Kanarakis puts pressure on, as Chrissy Hollow comes out with a nice little chip to Darren Burke. Wearing long sleeves today, Darren Burke. That's interesting. Handballs it on to Sean Mullane. Sean Mullane has got the centre of the ground there, looking for Scott McConkey, and the ball goes to McConkey, and the free kick was paid down the ground nonetheless. McConkey chips it in short, looking for Big Jack Marshall, and the Big Jack hasn't let him down, and that's an ominous sign for Jack Marshall as he lines it up from about 45 metres out, a very slight angle, and the distance won't be any problem at all for the big fellow.
No.
See any significant moves? It looks as though Big Rigolo, Joe is the at centre half forward, and can't quite pick Tarpey up, but some of the experts will have done that all right, as Jack Marshall lets this one right off the boot, but it's just drifting to the right as Dandenong open their encounter with 1 point. Dandenong 1 point, and Sandringham yet to score. And Rigolo is in there, and Rigolo will take the mark in front of Chris Hollow. Handballed it off into the centre of the ground, and that's Sikorsky coming through, and he passes it on to Brett Bailey. Bailey delivers it down, and there he is, right in the... that's Paddy Garrett. And I noticed his uncle Pat Flaherty up in the social club today too, so Pat will have a bit of a heart pang today watching his mighty old Redlegs. But his nephews, Chrissy and Pat Garrett, are both there, and they're both tremendous players. And this is Pat Garrett, has got the ball right at centre half forward with the Dennis Knight. It's interesting to see Knight take his place, Barry. He's not been well. Anyway, beside the point, it's off the foot. Brilliant kick by Pat Garrett. He's a wonderful kick of the ball, Garrett, and that's the first goal of the day. Sandringham go to 1 goal, 6 points to Dandenong, 1 behind, 1 point. Gave him a clip behind the ears to go on with, but Dennis Knight will be the man to stand him, but no excuses. But Dennis has not been well, but he'll fight on, and up they go, and Gary Milligan helps there, but swooping on that ball is Foley. Shane Foley drives it in towards full forward, and that's a mark to Sandringham, and he'll pay that all right. He's not crossed the line, and Johnny Kanarakis making sure he keeps the angle right, but the umpire will put him right back around there. That's Mark Williams, the ex-Carlton player. Well, some people in the social club will think he's all right because he played for Carlton, but let me tell you, he's not a bad player. Takes a good Mark Williams. Right, in he comes the opportunity, and he's registered Sandringham's second major, and they go to 2 goals 12 to Dandenong 1 point on the Pioneer home scoreboard. Well, in fact, it was a bit too good, probably, and it comes into the Sandringham player, and he's got loose men here on the half-forward line, and he races around the boundary, Adrian McKenzie. McKenzie gets it down towards Regolo, and I'd say Regolo would be paid that mark. Yes, indeed he is. Right. Frank Regolo, I think Regolo's the leading goal kicker at the moment, Barry, isn't he, for the VFA? I don't know how many he's got, but let's hope he hasn't got one. Well, we mustn't be biased. How many's he got? 49 goals at this point, and Regolo lining up for his 50th goal for the year and his first for this match. He's very slight angle for the left footer, and that won't injure him at all, and that's a nice kick, and it's straight through the middle for Sandringham's third goal, and they go to 3 goals straight, 18 points to Dandenong, 1 behind 1 point on the Pioneer home scoreboard. The umpire comes in, Soderstrom wrestling with Tarpey. He's got back position, that won't do him any good, but it comes out to Sean Mullane. Sean Mullane breaks the pack brilliantly, and is this one of Sean Mullane's miracle goals? I'd say yes it is, and yes it is indeed. That's a typical Sean Mullane. That's a lifter if you've ever seen one. Dandenong score its first goal at 1-1-7 to Sandringham 3-5-23 on the Pioneer home scoreboard at the 16-17 minute mark of the first quarter, as Heathmead and Brett Dow are warming up on the boundary, and that was mounted a good thrust forward there, Barry.
And the Viper standing behind him, so he give 50 metre penalty.
Right. So Tarpey comes in with the torpedo punt I was talking about earlier, and that's no exception. It goes right down, and there's Gary Milligan. Can he grab it? No, he can't, and it's through for a goal to Sandringham, and I couldn't quite pick it up who kicked that, and the boys will be telling John Russo he ought to be justifiably proud of his efforts there, as Sandringham go to 4-5 to Dandenong, 1-1-7. They go. Tarpey got it, Milligan rather, comes down to Sean Malone, who gets one in the back, and thank you, umpire, you've paid this one at last. And the boys will be surprised. Well, he reckons Russo's doing a lousy job, so I'll pay him the other way. Right. 50 metres will take the captain, Sean Mullane, right within kicking distance.
Garrett now confined to the
as Peter Sikorsky, yeah.
Garrett confined to Russo.
Yeah, look at Russo having a talk to them too, because he'd reckon that's... Oh, well, come on, forget about it. Forget it. Right, Sean Mullane, right at centre half forward. Can he put Dandenong's second goal on the board? Accuracy will only be the only concern as the player runs in. Sean Mullane lets it go, and that's a beautiful kick straight through the middle for a goal to Dandenong. That's his second goal, and Dandenong's second also. 2-1-13 to Sandringham, 4-5-29 there. Just hoping that it'll come over the top, and it comes out, another handball back. Sandringham are running right there in the middle of the ground with Fisher. No, it's not, it's Mitchelson. And that's has he paid the mark? Yes, indeed he has. I wasn't watching. Yeah. And Regolo has got that one. Frank Regolo at 40 metres out. He let it go from 45 metres. Angle won't worry him at all either, because he's on his left foot. In comes Regolo, looking for goal number 3 or 2. 2. Didn't get that last one. Right, in she comes. Regolo lets this one off the boot. That's a good looking kick, and it's probably right through the middle as Sandringham go to 5-5-35 to Dandenong 2-1-13 at the 24.5 minute mark of the Pioneer Homes first quarter. Out comes Glenn Hunter, the kick off the ground. Bradley Gotch will get under this and take the mark. And can he recover enough to get it onto Lee Taylor? No, he can't. He'll get it out to Darren Hall. Darren Hall will go down looking for Mark Soderstrom. Soderstrom, can he get in front? Danny Cassette does and takes front position, but it comes to Darren Burke. Big sweeping handball to Soderstrom. He'll kick it over the top of his shoulder, looking for Jack Marshall, who's in front. To go to Pretto. Oh, Pretto couldn't trap the ball. Comes in towards Jack Marshall now. He grabs the Sandringham player, and the umpire calls for a ball up. He won't pay it there, I can tell you. Oh, Pretto didn't move very well there, did he? He's got an Achilles, but I think he had an injection before the game in his left heel. So just not moving quite freely there. Up they go. Comes out, and that's going to be a free. He's paid one. He's paid one to Jack Marshall for over the shoulder, and
he should have paid it before he bounced the ball, because he was just watching him what was going on, and he just kept pulling Jack backwards.
Right.
And as soon as he bounced it, he blew the whistle.
All right, well, distance will be no worry at all for the favourite of the hill, big Jack Russell Marshall. He'll let it go from about 16 metres out, and he'll line it up, and it's straight through the middle for a goal to Dandenong. And they go to 3-1-19 to Sandringham 5-5-35 at the 26 minute mark of the Pioneer Homes first quarter. Right, up they go. Milligan, Regolo came over the top of Milligan and won that, I would think. Lee Taylor will have to get fast if he can get it out towards. No, he can't. And there's Cracker for one of his few kicks, but he'll make it count, let me tell you, as it runs through for a goal. And a brilliant kick, Cracker. and it goes through for a goal to Sandringham. They go to 6-5-41 to Dandenong 3-1-19 on the Pioneer home scoreboard. Right, the left-footed fellow, is that Garrett? I think it probably is. It's a lovely torpedo kick by Joes. That's a beautiful kick for goal, and it's straight through the middle, and that was a top goal, there's no doubt about that. And I think it was Paddy Garrett, yes, and right on the siren time at the 31-minute mark of the Pioneer Homes first quarter, with Sandringham going to what, 7 goals are they? 7-6-48 to Dandenong 3-1-19, and Ryan will go out and have a listen to see what Michael Kennedy's got to say at quarter time to his charges.
You coward. I'll go and ruffle.
All right, and Barry's going out to hear Trevor Barker, the ex-St Kilda champ, address his Sandringham charges. And this quarter of football is being brought to you by P&I O'Kelly, paper bag manufacturers, and for all party entertainment in your paperware products, as John Russo comes in to put this ball down. Right down she goes, and Gary Milligan gets first. Big thump out. It comes over the top to Chris, to Lee Taylor. Couldn't Danny Cassette put a good shoulder in Cassette? And he's paid a... this is pathetic. Dear. Right, it goes out to Sandringham. Milligan is up, got the big right fist, but it went to Pat Garrett, I think. Another player swings it over the top as Sean Mullane comes in. Then he's punched it down towards the Sandringham player, and that's a goal to Sandringham. You can tell by the look on Kanarakis, and not very good defensive work there by Dandenong, in my view, Barry.
No, Kanarakis didn't try too hard to stop it either, that's, you know.
Yes, and I think Sean Mullane would regret the option that he took too, because he just punched it back into play, and he wouldn't have intended that, no doubt, but that's the way it turned out, as Dandenong won't... that's too easy, that one. Sandringham go to 8-6 to Dandenong 3-1-19 as Russo comes in to put this ball on its way again.
Player kicked the ball and they penalised him.
Yes, for time wasting.
Yeah.
Right, up they go. Rigolo got the big left hand onto this, and it comes down towards Foley. Foley gets it out now, and I think that's a new player on, but he gets it right down towards Chris Hollow and Rigolo's taken a mark, and the umpire says, yes, you've earned that one, Frankie. And Russo has paid that, there's no doubt about that one. It was a good body work by Rigolo. Just too strong there for Chris Hollow on that occasion. Lining up now for goal number 2 for Rigolo, and bang, down she goes, and out it goes into the creek, and they'll have to fox that ball back as Sandringham go to 9-6-60 to Dandenong 3-2-20 on the P&I O'Kelly scoreboard. Secondly, Julie did that, and it comes out towards Bradley Gotch and Richard Wick. Oh, he's held when not in possession, and the umpire's right onto that, and Andrew Lacko will line up, and Scotty McConkey's done a hamstring. McConkey's limping, he's called for the trainers. I'd say he's done a hamstring. Yes, that looks bad. Right, here's Andrew Lacko. Just keep our eye on Scott McConkey. That the doctor's gone out with him and Alec Ladd, and it'll be a 30-second decision, this one, you watch. Right, off he comes, straight away. Yep, there he goes. Right, Andrew Lacko lines it up and puts it straight through the middle for a goal to Dandenong, and they go to 4-3-27 to Sandringham 9-6-60 on the P&I O'Kelly scoreboard as Dr. Don McIntosh brings Scotty McConkey off. They bring him through the darts and gets it in towards the centre, but Andrew Lacko snuck it. Handballs it over the top to the running mark, Soderstrom. Soderstrom will use his left foot and chip it out looking for Danny Cassette. Cassette takes front position. Sean Mullane will break this. No, he doesn't. Gets a handball over to Jack Marshall. Jack Marshall into Richard Wicks. Richard Wicks onto Dennis Knight. Dennis Knight and take his time and line it up and kick a goal. That's good play from Dandenong. They go to 5-4-34 to Sandringham 9-7-61 on the P&I O'Kelly scoreboard as Michael Kennedy, the coach, comes in to congratulate Sean Mullane. And Barry, that was a bit better work from the Dandenong boys then. A teammate coming through, I think it's Foley, or Sean Mullane might have been a bit late, but it goes to Paddy Garrett. He's leaving them and Mary Downson. There's Lee Taylor in front, but that's a brilliant mark. You'd have to pay that. That's a brilliant mark to Mitchelson. And who's he got now? He drives it. Oh, there's a loose player there for Sandringham, and he'll take it too. And yes, that's a mark, all right. There's no doubt about that. Huh? Yes, I know. The mark was on, and they mounted a good effort there, Sandringham. And Dennis Knight, the doctor's going out to Dennis Knight, I think. He'll be trying to prop him up with antibiotics to keep him going. But he's a tough customer, Knight. He won't give in. Don't worry about that. Right, can't see who's got this for Sandringham. Do you know who it is, Ryan?
I think it might be Ryan.
That's what I said, Ryan. I said it was Ryan. Right, that's a goal to Dandenong, and Peter Ryan kicks that one for Sandringham, for Sandringham. Dandenong at 5-4-34 to Sandringham, just getting away a bit dangerously now as far as Dandenong is concerned. I think they've probably hit double figures, have they, Sandringham?
7-7.
Boys are a bit slow on the scoreboard at the moment. Paper bags, paper plates, paper cups and all things for your party as it comes out towards Lee Taylor. Lee Taylor couldn't quite hold that ball in as Foley comes out and he gets a handball over the top to the running player and Andrew Lacko can't catch him and he goes right down towards the full... Oh, and that's another mark too. Oh, that should have been paid. And look at this, into the open goal goes Paddy Garrett. He'll just kick it through. There's no worries there. That came off the brilliant hands of Andrew Cracker. And Sandringham race away now to 11-7 to Dandenong, 5-5, 35 on the P.I.O. Kelly scoreboard. So he'll do himself more injury than it's worth. Right, and he can't help his team like that anyway. Look at him, it's embarrassing. Right, out they go, and Jack Marshall will have to do all the work, and he does it again, Jack, and that's good body work by the big fellow, because that Daryl Argus is no mean slouch, I tell you. He's a tough customer, as Preto is... look, he's on one leg, and someone ought to do... Oh, they're trying to get the player on, of course. Well, Brett Dower's a big tall forward. He should be on there in a flash. They shouldn't waste 1 second. Take him right off through the goal square. He's not going to come back on as Jack Marshall lines up and Jack is deliberate and he lets this one go and that's a better kick from the big fellow. 6-5 Dandenong to 11-7, 73 Sandringham on the P&IO Kelly scoreboard at the 23-minute mark of 17-minute mark of this second quarter. And couldn't trap it in as Darren Hall. He'll get one too high. Andrew Lacko handballs it out to nobody in particular and the ball is smothered back and it goes to Paddy Garrett. Paddy Garrett uses his left foot, drives it right down towards full forward and that's a goal to Sandringham. Look, Brett Dower is just going on the ground now and well, not for me to say, we're only calling what we see, but I'd have thought that was rather unnecessary and in the meantime, they've kicked a goal because there's no one there to help Jack Marshall trap the ball into the forward line. Right, 12-7 Sandringham, 79 to Dandenong, 6-5, 41 on the P&IO Kelly scoreboard at the 20-minute mark of this second quarter. As it comes in towards Jack Marshall. Jack gets outwitted there by his opponent. He'll drive Anthony Allen, I think it is, and he'll come out to the members' side of the ground looking for Big Joe Rigolo, and he hasn't let him down in front of Mark Soderstrom. And there's Rigolo. Heath Mead's picked up Andrew Cracker, which is interesting. And down they go now. And what's going to happen here is someone comes over the top and gets paid the mark. And I think he earned the mark all right, but the bit of a push there before, but all's fair in love and war. Lining up for the Sandringham's 13th goal with Dandenong at 6-5, 41 to Sandringham 12-9, 81. Peter Ryan, is it? Yes, Peter Ryan. Takes a good mark, Ryan, doesn't he? Right, Ryan lining this ball up. Left footer Ryan, yes he is, and that's straight through for a goal to Sandringham. They go to 13-9, 87 to Dandenong 6-5, 41 at the 29-minute mark of the P&IO Kelly scoreboard. Now don't forget, for all your party hire equipment in the way of paper plates, serviettes, tablecloths, cups and saucers, I suppose they have paper saucers, don't they? Yes, yeah. Paper plates certainly. Call down and see Peter O'Kelly at P&IO Kelly, and he'll certainly look after you, and particularly if you mention the Dandenong Football Club. Take a big screamer for you as Brett Dower drags his opponent out, and that's pretty smart work by Brett Dower. Dennis Knight will use a torpedo punt. Can Jack get in front? Danny Cassette's in front. Up and over and comes out to Sandringham. That's a good tackle, and the umpire says holding the... Yeah.
He made no effort.
No.
See, they know that the umpires won't penalise them, so they just hang on.
Now, what's he doing now?
He's giving a Sandringham player argument.
That was, I think it was tripped on the leg.
Yeah, well, I don't know what he's done now.
He demonstrated that he tripped him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, he must have tripped him after he decided to bounce it, did he? All right, Sean, the Captain Courageous, will take this mark, and he won't, the free kick rather, and Sean won't let us down as it goes straight through the middle for a goal to Dandenong, right on the siren time I'd suggested, 7-5, 47 to Sandringham 13-9, 87, and this second quarter has been brought to you by P&IO Kelly.
High on now.
Right, anyway, he's got it. There's nothing you and I can do about it from here, Barry, as he goes down there, and that was Daryl Argus, and it goes towards, and player at the back nearly got that. And that is that kicking in danger? Is that
he's gone.
Is that kicking in danger? What do you ask? Johnny Canaracas will have to handball it out, and I bet he'll penalise him. There's the siren, and I reckon that's the end of the... I'm getting a bit annoyed here. 13-10 Sandringham, 88 to Dandenong, 7-5, 47 on the P&IO Kelly scoreboard at the half-time mark. back line, which Sandringham do so very well. Handball it out now, and number 19 has got this in Johnston. He comes into the centre of the ground looking for and finding his teammate in Callaway. Callaway gets it down, and Heathmead is there, but he kicks it towards the Sandringham goal to their advantage, and it comes out to Paddy Garrett, and that's penalised them again. And Heath, you've got to learn, son, you don't do that. And kicked it right to their advantage, Barry, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Paddy Garrett made you pay the price, and Glenn Hunt just encouraging Heath because tactically that was an error. It was one of his great big ones. Who's going to get it? But Big Joe takes the mark, and he called play on and then paid the mark. He called play on and then paid the mark. So there you go. Anyway, not to deny Big Rigaldo.
He run down the ground there.
Not deny Big Rigaldo because he did take that mark, and it was a very good mark as Tarpey gets it down to Sean Mullane.
Getting the mud off him.
Yeah, getting the mud off his arms. Right, well, they won't want to let this game get out of control because there's no advantage to Dandenong to really come. The rough stuff as Rigaldo lets fly, and that's a good goal from the big fellow. He's
Tarpey had a go at thingamabob behind the play here, and the umpire turned his back.
Yeah?
At Gotch.
Yeah, right. Handballed it backwards to Heathmead. Heathmead drives it in short, looking for one, just finds an opponent. And just a waste of a quick there to Chrissy Garrett. He'll penalise you, don't worry about that, as he drives it right in towards Big Rigaldo. Up they go, Milligan over the pack, and he's going to pay another free kick to Sandringham. Well, I think probably Dandenong are being a little bit errant now, Barry. They're probably just getting totally frustrated and giving away the free kicks. Right, a free kick to, who's got it? Big Joe Rigaldo. And he won't have any trouble with the distance, Joe. He should drive this ball right into the, onto the score line at least. Accuracy will be the only doubt in my view. Right, he lets it go from about 45 metres, and I don't think there's much doubt about either of that. I think it's going to be a goal. And goal it is to Sandringham. They go to 16-13, 109 to Dandenong 7-5-47 on the tip-top scoreboard at the 15-minute mark of this third quarter. To Lacko. Lacko over the top to Darren Hall. Darren Hall into Lee Taylor. Lee Taylor, he has to stop now. Gives it to little Bradley Gotch. Bradley Gotch onto Darren Hall. Darren Hall heads for home and kicks a goal for Dandenong. That was good play. 8-5 Dandenong to 16-14 Sandringham, 110 at the 20-minute mark of the tip-top third quarter, brought to you from Shipley Oval by Tip Top Bakery. Dear oh dear. Anyway, Johnny Kanarakis has taken a mark, and the umpire called play on and then paid the mark.
Now he's called play on, he hadn't moved.
Yeah. Right, anyway, Kanarakis gets it to Soderstrom. Soderstrom is out right in front of the Genova sign. Needs some vitamins now, I tell you. Up they go. Danny Cassette's behind, and can they take it? No, they can't. Bradley Gotch gets a handball out, but it goes straight to the Sandringham player. He gets it out, and they're handballing it to nobody now. But Sandringham's Brent Bailey, and there's the siren for three-quarter time. And Bailey's going to come in and remonstrate with Lee Taylor, and he does. Now, the umpire should do something about Heath, and it goes to Andrew Lacko. Andrew Lacko takes a good mark. Andrew Lacko hasn't played a bad game today, I do believe. And he'll drive it right in towards centre half, full forward rather, Jack Marshall and Soderstrom, and over the back to Jack Marshall and through for a goal. Right, that was good play, and Dandenong just put a bit of hope into this at 9-8, 60 something or other to Sandringham 16-15, 111, 9-8-62 to 111 Sandringham on the Coffee Ford scoreboard. He's been sadly out of sorts with a shocking virus. And but there's not to deny Dennis Knight, because it'd take more than a virus to hold him down, and he gives chase Dennis Knight here, and he'll put Bailey under all sorts of pressure. Bailey chips it out wide, looking for and finding a teammate in Anthony Allen. Anthony Allen streams down and heads towards, it's a brilliant pass, and he finds Paddy Garrett right on the chest. And I think that, as I'd say, was almost laces out so that it didn't bruise. That was a brilliant pass by Anthony Allen. And who's in front here but Gary Milligan. Comes out now towards Andrew Cracker, and he kicks a goal. And it's straight through as Johnny Kanarakis just put his arm around him. And that was brilliant roving by Cracker. Milligan thumped that ball down, but it was only Cracker there to take advantage of it. As Sandringham go to 17-17. They keep their score tidy anyway, aren't they? 17-7 to Dandenong 9-9. Way, and Regala, well, he's allowed to do that. He's trying to just show a strength and get him off his mark. As Brett Dower stands there, and Regalo lets it go in short, looking for and not finding a teammate on that occasion. As oh my God, isn't it? Right, he gets that, I can't pick up the Sandringham player who's got it, but he's penalised the Dandenong player for holding, and I suppose if anything, Barry, they've been somewhat consistent in that all day, but you really wonder about the correctness of it. Right, Chrissy Hollow on the mark. The Dandenong players aiming around as the left-footed player from Sandringham drills that one, and that's a brilliant kick. That's a magnificent goal to Sandringham. 18-17, 125 to Dandenong, 9-9-63 on the Coffee Ford scoreboard. Right, in she goes. Up they go, and Darren Burke gets a nice handball out to Darren Hall. Darren Hall has got very few options there, but Danny Cassette comes out now. Can he get a lift on this one, Danny Cassette? Yes, he did, and he did very, very well indeed. He used his body well that time. I'm convinced... Yeah, no, I think he was side on that time, Ryan. I'm convinced that if he's in front, or at least shoulder to shoulder, he'll get more than he loses, Danny. Because he can spring off them, Barry, can't he, once he's right? But if he's behind, he's just got no hope. However, he'll learn, and he's a great talent. Danny Cassette lines this one up, and he'll drive this through for a goal to Dandenong. No question about that one. 10-10. 70 to Sandringham, 18-17, 125. And this quarter being brought to you by Coffee Ford. Go the ruckman went down to Sandringham. Foley gets it away to that running player again. They come off that back line so well. And then they go now, and this player is fresh on the ground in Mackenzie, Adrian Mackenzie. Sean Mullane tries to snap it out. Johnny Canarakis wasn't quick enough. Michael Kennedy runs past. Couldn't get it, and there goes Cracker. Oh, brilliant Cracker. Absolutely brilliant onto the running Paddy Garrett, and Paddy Garrett drills another goal to Sandringham. That was brilliant by Cracker. You've got to hand him that one. That was absolutely brilliant bit of work. And they race away to 19-18, I think it'll be. Yes, 19-18 to 10-10-79. And all them on is that the clever little kick around the corner will go to Chris Hollow. Chris Hollow can let fly down there towards the running Danny Cassette, and Cassette's taken it. And once again, the minute that boy's in front, 9 times out of 10 he'll get the ball. And if they don't drum that into his head, that he's got to get in front, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that number 31 supposedly Nick Moray, but that doesn't look like Nick Moray to me. He's not running like the Nick Moray that played at Dandenong. I don't reckon that's Nick Moray. Is it Nick Moray? Yeah. Looking through a dirty, dusty thing over here. I don't think I've called him all day. Right, did Danny Cassette get that?
Yeah.
Yep. Very good.
Big Moray's just come back on.
Ah, yes, right. I hadn't seen. And didn't go with the ball. You got to take it with you, Heathy. And there they go. And Hunt gets this out to Paddy Garrett. Paddy Garrett will use his right foot, and he's ambidextrous if anybody is. That was an equally brilliant kick on his right foot. There's the siren for Sandringham at 11. Dandenong 11-11, 77. Soundly defeated by Sandringham 19-18, 132. And we do say a very good afternoon to everybody from Shepley Oval as Sean Mullane comes off the ground, head down, but not to be disgraced. And Barry and Ryan, we thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
Sure.